deck, so cool. 4 birds, 4 invisible stalker, 4 strangleroot guys, 4 Geist of St. Trapp.
Here we go. So looks like Jimmy was on the play, just got a island in a swamp there. Joseph swings in with his green ghosty guy.
Full art too.
Ooh,
I like it.
Looks like no think twice or anything for. Oh, he does. Yeah, no think twice for Jimmy. Just untaps and draws.
Yeah, and I think the names up top are a little reversed. Joseph should be on the left, Jimmy on the right. Just for clarification there.
And Geist goes into the bin. He says no, no, no.
that's a scary card.
I would say no, no, no as well.
Yeah. Not the scariest card for a deck that features 3 Snapcaster, 2 Grave Titan as their only cards, their only creatures.
So that Stringaroo Geist is getting in there.
Yeah, Joseph Bass down to 14 life right now.
And Thrun.
Thrun, wow. So.
Looks like Jimmy's got the.
Alchemy.
Yeah, I thought I saw a Snapcaster Mage in his hand.
Huh. So, bins Dissipate and 2 other cards.
He's looking for an answer.
Ooh, Curse of Death's Hold. That'll stem the bleeding a little bit.
A little bit, but is it enough?
Yeah. Joseph Bass sitting at a comfortable 41 right now.
14,
there
we go.
That's pretty close.
So
Jimmy Spears will be able to attack for 5 this turn, assuming he doesn't have an increasing savagery. And if he does, I see no reason not to play that on that throne.
Yeah, I would probably be windmill slamming that right now, actually.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he's got to think, I understand.
Right.
Nothing wrong with that.
Throne doesn't have trample or anything, so it can get chump blocked, but even so, no reason to keep regeneration up.
Yeah. Well, he's thinking about his next plan of action. Another Strangleroot Geist.
Immediately dies, but gets a counter. So 3, 5, 7. Yeah.
Ouch.
Having Joseph Bass's life total down to 7.
And he is currently dead on board if he doesn't have an answer, which he could probably just slop down a Grave Titan and Black Sun Zenith.
Wow. So wiping the entire board. 3 for winning Jimmy Spears there. And he'll shuffle back. And Jimmy, though, does have a Geist to follow up.
Not a bad follow-up, if you ask me.
No. Something that demands a Black Sun Zenith on its own? Yeah, that's awesome.
I mean, really just looking at the creatures Jimmy has compared to the removal Joseph has, Joseph has Tribute to Hunger and Black Sun Zenith to deal with his hexproof guys.
That's it, yeah. Oh, and double curse.
Oh, okay, that too.
So both curses in Joseph Bass's deck in play right now. That's gonna... Wow, actually... Jimmy Spears has almost no way to deal with that. He has 2 Thruns left. Those are the only creatures that survive.
Wow.
And 4/4 Gideon Juris also survive. Wow, double curse has this game on lockdown. Jimmy Spears has so many dead draws, Angelic Destinies, increasing savageries, mana leaks at this point. None of these do anything.
Ooh, and here he had a really good start to this game, but that double curse is pretty good.
Knight of Souls Betrayal, Enchanting You, not bad. So Joseph Bass just casting Forbidden Alchemy, flashing him back, casting Think Twice is flashing him back. Just making sure he has some counter spells so he doesn't die to some random creature with 4 toughness.
He thought a little more than twice that turn. Oh, he thought 3 times.
Think Thrice. New card from Avacyn Restored. You heard it here first. That's the new mechanic they're debuting, double flashback.
Double flashback.
That'd be cool. So Joseph Bass starting the slow Drown Yard process on Jimmy Spears.
Jimmy's probably hoping to draw that Thrun.
Yeah, I mean, even if I'm Jimmy right now, even if you draw Thrun, the odds that it lives seem so small.
And it looks like he also milled over one, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think that's that card in the bottom right there.
Oh.
So 3 more. And another Alchemy. So at this point, if you're Joseph Bass, you just show him your hand. You're like, look, Look, buddy.
I got all these.
Look at all my cards. You can't beat these cards. Scoop them up.
Oh, well. Jimmy's going to play it out. He's hoping. He's hoping to get there.
Yeah, I don't blame him.
Oh, me either.
You never scoop. I mean, you never know when your opponent will just draw 3 cards randomly. Like, brainstorm 4 cards.
Oh, no. So it's kind of sad when you're hoping to win just by your opponent making a mistake.
Yeah.
I always go for the good games of Magic.
We're Magic players, though. We got to go for any edge we see, right? any legal edge.
Right.
And there's the scoop. Jimmy Spears doesn't want to play anymore.
No
He's taking his
way.
ball. He's going home.
Do you think that game might have been any different if Jimmy had been on the play?
I don't know how much more damage he would have. Joseph would have taken. It seems like a lot, though.
Yeah.
I think so. I think that he might have been able to deal that extra 7.
Yeah. With the double string of guys there.
Right.
Who knows, Bo? So let's look at the sideboards. See what they got. Joseph has Ratchet Bomb, Bloodline Keeper, Nail Spell Bomb, another Tribute to Hunger, Doomblade, Dissipate, Flash Freeze, Batterskull, Negate, Drown Yard, and Surgical Extraction. Probably bring in that Tribute to Hunger and that Dissipate.
No more curses for him, unfortunately.
Yeah, but I really think 2 is the right number.
Yeah. 2's all he needed that game.
Yeah.
2 Flash Freeze. I don't think we'll see that one on the draw. We might see it on the play.
Maybe. He's not like I think because he's only playing green and not green and red. I think he might not board that in, but we'll see.
Yeah. Also, Joseph Bass, he's playing against this deck. He doesn't really know what it does yet. He doesn't know how many green cards Jimmy Spears might have.
That's true.
So it wouldn't be a bad hedge to maybe bring in 1 or 2 of the Flash Freezes.
Yeah, I think he'll probably take out the Go for the Throats. Maybe 1 or 2 Tragic Slips. Like, he didn't see any birds game 1, so he might take them all out. Or he might decide to leave them in just to take care of those nasty little birdies that come down on turn 1.
Right. It's really tough to play against this deck because he has Invisible Stalkers, Geist, Strangleroot Geist, Thrun. All these cards sort of dodge the removal really well. Joseph might just side out all his point removal here.
Which is kind of interesting, a control deck to side out against an aggro deck.
Yeah, it is. And that's probably why Jimmy Spears picked this deck, because it just dodges the traditional removal so well.
So we can look at what Jimmy's got over here. He's got a Sword of War and Peace, Active Aggression, Celestial Purge, Batterskull, Surgical Extraction, Spell Skites, Negate, and Naturalize.
Wow.
Definitely bringing in those Naturalizes if I were him.
Yeah.
Take care of those pesky curses.
Exactly, and one of the only other cards that Joseph Bass has to kill the hexproof creatures is Ratchet Bomb. So that's good against them too. Negate? I have to imagine we'll see Negate too.
Yeah, probably the Negate. I don't think he'll bring in the Purges.
No, Naturalize is less narrow.
Maybe a Batterskull, but I don't really see any need for that.
No, maybe the Surgical Extractions.
Maybe.
Definitely pretty reasonable.
Get those Black Sun Zeniths out of there. Well, no, it wouldn't work unless he milled over it.
Right. I mean, you can almost always use the Surgical to some effect against Blue Black, whether it's countering Snapcaster, whether it's getting their Think Twice's, Forbidden Alchemies.
Yeah.
The question is if Jimmy wants to even spend a card to do that.
Honestly, I don't think he does. I think he should be more focused on, just killing him as fast as possible.
Right.
Because, once the Blue-Black control deck just takes control, and it just does what it does,
Yeah, exactly. Like, for example, if Jimmy had the Surgical that game, he could have taken out the Forbidden Alchemy, but Joseph didn't need the Forbidden Alchemy to win that game. He already got 1 use out of it.
So they're still shuffling up. And if you're just joining us again, we've got Jimmy here on your right. He's playing a Bant Hexblade deck. He's down a game versus Joseph Bass, who's playing a pretty stock list of Blue-Black control. And we're going to see what Game 2 brings us.
Yeah, I think that Jimmy's deck sort of underperformed right there. We didn't get to see Destiny hit. We didn't get to see the Swords hit, Increasing Savagery. If he draws Invisible Stalker, I think this game's going to be a lot different.
Well, looks like Jimmy is taking a mulligan here.
Yeah.
And Joseph's going to keep his hand.
So many crazy things you can do in the standard format, huh?
I know, it's so awesome. Like like when you compare it to standard a year ago, it's just
man.
Cobblade, blah. And it's just like there's so many new things out, and I think that's one of the great successes of the Innistrad block is that the mechanics are so flavorful, and I mean, not only is it a great limited format, but it also made for a really great standard format.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Real diverse.
It's really cool that Flashback is so non-linear. It sort of encourages so many different decks. It's not like you can just build a Flashback deck.
Yeah.
That's just not good, as people found out when they tried to make Burning Vengeance work. That just doesn't work.
Alright, so looks like they're having a bit of a chuckle. It's always nice when you kind of. Oh, Jimmy's going to 5.
So down a game versus blue-black control, going to 5. It's not a spot you want to be in.
Yeah, well, I mean, it really, like, Jimmy can still get an explosive hand on a mull to 5.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, he go
He doesn't really...
turn 1 bird, turn 2 sword, turn 3 invisible stalker. Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing. Turn 3 stalker equipped, so he can't even Black Sun it away that turn.
So,
I think Jimmy Spears, I think we probably will see him board out his Angelic Destinies,
yeah,
board out his Vapor Snags. These cards aren't really too great, just sort of swapping his threats for better threats.
So Jimmy doesn't have the aggressive draw that I think he probably wanted, but I think at mull to 5 he's probably happy just to have something.
Yeah, you have to keep almost whatever you get on 5, unfortunately.
So no turn 1, 2, or 3 play.
Wow.
Joseph has to think twice.
Jimmy Spears, though, without blue mana, so he might have a Geist. He might have an Invisible Stalker, but just without the mana to play him. Ooh,
Bloodline Keeper. Oh, rats.
And that's the only reason why Jimmy would have wanted Celestial Purge over Naturalize. That card right there. And there it is.
There. Oh. Ooh, that is not good for Jimmy.
Yeah, you don't see blue-black players untap with Bloodline Keeper very often and lose.
I'm trying to see what's in Jimmy's hands.
I think he has at least 2 Angelic Destinies. But that's not what he wants in this matchup.
He wants another land right now, for sure.
So end of turn.
A hinterland harbor.
Ooh, that would be pretty good. Not a Seachrome Coast.
It's like Joseph's on the vampire plan.
Yeah.
Looking all sparkly down there.
His hand is stocked. He has a Batter Skull, he has a Counter Spell, he has a Tribute.
Wow.
He's a really good draw. Hey, look at that.
There's a hinterland harbor.
Off the top. I don't know if it's going to be enough,
play the Destiny and jam it in there?
Might have to.
No.
Wow, Angelic Destiny. That's the best he can muster against this blue-black deck, and it'll get slipped. Wow, I can't believe Slip's in his deck still.
Well, he probably kept it in for birds.
Yeah, Birds of Paradise. That's a good point. Especially on the draw. So Snapcaster.
Targeting Tragic Slip. Oh. Wow, poor Jimmy.
So end of turn, Bloodline Keeper makes a vampire, and that is 1 turn away from going ultimate.
Vampire Town.
Population, Joseph Bass. And Snapcaster Mage.
No, he's just chilling. He's like, I could be a vampire. Come on, let me be a vampire.
Give me a chance, guys. So Joseph just says go. Jimmy Spears has nothing he can play. Joseph has multiple counters.
Oh, yeah.
Multiple removal spells.
It's just Frown Town for Jimmy.
Yeah, mull to 5. Have no play until turn 4. Strangleroot Geist. Against the blue-black deck with a great draw, it's just not going to do it.
And he makes a vampire and goes ultimate with his Bloodline Keeper.
Welcome to Lord of Lineage. Population, yo face.
Big old bag of owl.
That's the game.
Aww.
Jimmy Spears, not a good showing for the Bant Hexblade deck, unfortunately. It's really cool. I would love to see what it's capable of, but those 2 games.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's obviously been doing pretty well in the tournament to be up at these tables so far, so I don't know what his exact record is, but it's now including 1 more loss, unfortunately.
Yeah,